Don't mind me just messing with the microphone that seems to be stuck in a couple of other wires. Cool. I think we got it. So we're back momentarily here. We are going to get into an episode of the podcast. I'll be honest, I'm just organizing up my desk. Anybody who was waiting for the show this morning, I apologize. A few different things came up and was not able to get to it at my usual time. But no matter, we are here anyways. We are here and we are ready to go and we're excited. So today we're going to be talking about reigniting passion. We're going to get into the show in about a minute. But before we do, make sure that you are tagging somebody in the comments who needs the message that you know this show delivers. If you have tuned into the show before, if you know what it is we do here, you know the message that we're here to deliver. You know we're here to help athletes. We are here to help athletes understand the things they need to be doing in order to build bigger, better, stronger versions of themselves in their sport, in their career, in their lives. We're here to help you reach new levels. We are here to help you achieve the dreams you have for yourself in sport and in life. And again, create the version of yourself that you need to be in order to achieve it. The path sometimes can be very unclear, and we're here to throw a little clarity on that path to help you understand what you need to do in order to achieve the dreams that you have for your career. So before we get into the show here, make sure to share the show with a teammate, share the show with a friend, share the show with somebody who needs the message, or just share the live stream so that everybody that you follow can see it too. But we're going to get into the show in 5 seconds here, talking about reigniting passion, and we're going to get into it in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the #1 show for athletes looking to gain an edge on their opponents and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dussault, and today we're going to be talking about reigniting passion. Now, why do I want to bring this topic to you? I always try to answer that question directly at the start of the episode. When I come up with these podcasts, the main things that I'm looking for are things that I see, whether in athletes that I work with or whether in athletes that I'm having discussions with online, people that are reaching out to me, or, just in the day-to-day life of a coach, what kind of things I see, what kind of things I hear. And this one has been on my mind for a while. And something I see very commonly, and if you're here right now, let me know if it resonates with you. Something I see very commonly in the world of sport is I see athletes that, grind super hard every day. They're pushing themselves. They're training every day. They're training twice a day. They're doing all this work they know that, they need to do in order to succeed, but they don't have that same love that they used to. They're showing up and they're checking the boxes. They're showing up and they're doing the work, but they don't have that smile on their face. They don't have that love, that passion, that enthusiasm that they used to have for the sport that they say they love so much. And what tends to happen is when you're showing up and you're just checking boxes, ask yourself, if you're not really excited to be there, are you really getting the same amount out of the training? If you're not really excited to show up to the gym, you're not really excited to, show up to practice, are you really getting the same amount out of the training that you need to? Because let's break it down. If you are here, it means that you've got some goals for your sport. You're not showing up and listening to this show if you're not trying to achieve something in a sport. So if you're trying to achieve something big in a sport, if you're trying to reach a new level, that means that you need to take your training seriously. That means that you need to show up, not just show up every day, but that means you need to show up every day and do everything that you can do to make the most amount of improvement you can make that'll translate to the skill set, to your abilities when it comes to your sport, right? So if you are in a position now where you are not feeling that love and feeling that passion, how do you bring that same energy to your sport every day? How do you get the most out of your training that you're showing up to and checking the boxes for every day? You don't. It's just not how it works. If you're not excited to be there, you're not going to get those little ins and outs that the people who are excited to be there are going to get. So why does this happen? Why do athletes lose their passion? Why do we see athletes that start up so excited, start up so enthusiastic, start up, so passionate and excited and ready to just conquer the world, and then fall off. Why do they fall off like that? I've asked myself that question a lot. And one of the main reasons, honestly, is this life is tough. You've chosen a difficult path to pursue. You've chosen a very difficult path to pursue. And as a result, it is going to be difficult for you at times. It is going to, be a grind at times. There are going to be difficult days. There are going to be days that you don't want to do it. There are going to be days that you would rather just curl up and go back to sleep. But if you truly want to pursue this at the highest level, you need to learn how to push through those days. You need to learn what you can do in order to push through those days that you don't have that same passion or that same excitement that you do other days. So why does it happen? This life is difficult. Another reason that I see athletes lose passion and I see that start to fade over time is politics. If you've made it to a certain level in a sport, I'm certain that you've dealt with a little bit of this before. So if you're here right now and that resonates with you, make sure to drop it in the comments and tell me. But politics, whether it's how much money you're getting paid for a certain fight, whether that's, getting bad matchups through certain promoters, whatever kind of things you're dealing with outside of just the actual joy of competition that start to weigh on you. And as they start to weigh on you, that starts to take away the love and take away the passion. So if you're here right now and you've dealt with a little bit of that through your sport, first, I'm sorry, because I know that's not why you're in it. I know that's not why you love it, but that is absolutely something that can start to take away that passion. And that's something that I'm extremely empathetic to. I see it happen with athletes all the time. And it's something that, we can absolutely learn to work through. And I see a comment coming in saying that you're interested in working with me. I will absolutely send you a message once this is done. I appreciate you. Everybody else, absolutely. That is 100% accurate. But the politics and then the overall grind of being an athlete, and the final reason that I've really seen athletes lose that passion and lose that drive that they've once had is pressure. As you rise through the ranks, as you get to higher levels, as you start, competing more, you have more pressure on you. There's more people, there's more eyes on you. And if there are more eyes on you, more people watching you, in turn, you're going to start to feel that more. And instead of just focusing on, man, I love what I'm doing, you've got to focus on, your family and friends that are watching you compete. You got to focus on those fans that are watching you compete. You've got to focus on, probably don't try to spend too much time on these ones, but you got to deal with those haters that are, coming out to shit on you and like put you down. And, you're dealing with so much more outside of just the love and the joy of competing, that this can start to weigh on athletes. This can start to, have a negative effect on athletic careers. And so if you start to notice this and you start to feel this in yourself, there are things you can do to work around it. There are things you can do to reignite that passion and again continue to see more and more success in your career as it goes on. So number one, before we get into that, how do you notice this in yourself? If you're an athlete right now and you're dealing with some of that negative energy, you're dealing with some of that lack or loss of passion or love for the sport, how do you start to pick that out in yourself? What I want you to ask yourself, if you're listening to this and you want to know if you've maybe lost a little bit of your passion, think about your next training session you have coming up. Whatever it is, think about your next training session you have coming up. And when you thought about that session, what's the first thought that goes through your mind? Is it, oh man, I can't wait to get there? Or is it, oh, I got to go do that tonight? Because if it's, oh man, I can't wait to get there, you're probably in pretty good shape. That passion's still probably intact. If it's, I don't want to do this tonight, or I have to get there tonight, now that's probably an indication that some of the passion is fading a little bit. And don't get me wrong, everybody needs days that they push through a little more. Not everybody is going to be at 100% all the time. That's just not logical. That's just not accurate. That's not how that works. But if you're having more of those days, if you're having more of those, I got to go to training tonight days than you are the days that you're actually excited to be there, now this is when you need to start looking at this issue. This is when you need to start thinking about what you're doing and thinking about whether or not this is becoming a problem for you. So if you are here and you are recognizing that that is maybe something that you're dealing with a little bit, don't worry. You're not alone. First of all, I know that's something a lot of athletes struggle with, is they start to lose that passion and they feel like everybody else is super excited every single day and they're the only ones that are, not feeling great. And as a result, they're struggling. And as a result of struggling like that, they feel like they're not, they feel like they're doing something wrong or that there's something wrong with them. So if that's you, there's nothing wrong with you. That's okay to feel that from time to time. You could just be burnt out. You could just need a day off. You could need a little more. But we are going to go through exactly how you can fix that problem. So how do you get your passion back? If you are sitting here and you are realizing that maybe you've lost a little bit of that passion, a little bit of that love for the game, a little bit of that love for the sport, a little bit of that drive, the first thing that I want you to think about is giving yourself a break. Yeah, you are a human being, even if you're a high-level athlete. You're a human being, and human beings need breaks. Human beings cannot go 24 hours a day. They just can't. I love coaching. I love serving my athletes. I love what I do with a passion that terrifies most people to their soul. But there are still days where I wake up and I think, holy shit, I don't want to do this today. And if I have one of those days, it might just be a bad night's sleep. If I have two of those days, I know that I need to be very conscious within the coming week to give myself a day off. I need to be very conscious within the coming week to give myself a day where I do not touch anything work related so that I can miss it and I can be excited to get back to it. And that's exactly what I want you to do as well. Give yourself a day where you do not train. Give yourself a day where you do not focus on the sport. Give yourself a day where you're not watching the sport. You're not thinking about the sport. You're going and making yourself busy with other activities. And if you can do that, what's going to start to happen is by like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're probably going to start thinking, holy shit, I want to go train again. Holy shit, I want to go train. I want to go train today. And not because you feel like you have to, but because you actually want to. And that's a very big difference that I need you to be clear on. So the first thing I want you to do is give yourself a break. And one thing I want you to ask yourself, if you're here with me now, or if you're listening back to this on the podcast or the YouTube channel or any of the other fantastic places that you can access me or my content, shameless little plug. If you are listening to this in any way, shape, or form, what I want you to ask yourself is, when was the last time you missed your sport? When was the last time that you were sitting at home and you were thinking, oh man, I can't wait to get back to training. I'm so excited to see everybody at the gym. Because if you're training every single day, you're never missing it. You're never overexcited because it's been a while since you've been there. And that might be exactly what you need to reignite that passion. If you're doing the same things every single day, you're doing the same work, you're pushing the same way, you're doing the same stuff. I see a comment coming in saying right now, that's too funny. And a little different when you're coming off of what you're coming off of, Javier, but I get what you're saying, but I hope that does make sense though. If you are in the gym every single day and you're never taking a break and you're constantly training and constantly working and you're starting to feel burnt out, give yourself a chance to miss it. Give yourself a couple of days away to get excited about coming back to training. And if you give yourself that time you need to get excited about coming back to training, then that in itself is going to let you reignite the passion. Not only that, but that's also going to let you look at whatever you've been training or whatever you've been working on from an outside perspective. Because you're not in the trenches doing it every single day. You're going to have that ability to look and say, man, I was working on this combo and I was struggling here, but I should try this or I should try that. That's going to give you new ideas, give you new thoughts, give you new approaches that are going to help you, again, reach new levels and in turn, continue to reignite that passion as you move forward in your career. So to recap, if you are feeling right now like you've lost a little bit of passion, a little bit of the love, a little bit of the drive that you've had, first of all, you're okay. Don't think there's something wrong with you. Don't think that, you've got this horrible problem because you're not super excited and rared up to train. It's normal. It happens. But the way we're going to get it back is you're going to give yourself some time away. It could be as little as a day. It could be as much as a week. You're going to give yourself some time away. You're going to relax. You're going to put the sport out of your mind, and you're going to let yourself miss it. And if you can let yourself miss it, if you can let yourself get overexcited to get back, then that's going to reignite the passion, and that's going to let you look at what you've been doing from a different perspective, and in turn, continue to make more progress and continue to push forward in your career. So that is it. That is all. I hope you got some value from this. I hope you're able to take something away. If you were, I'd love to know what it was. I would love to know what it was that you took away, anything that you could apply to your career right now. And if you were here watching the show right now, or if you're listening back to this on the podcast, I have one ask of you, and that is that you share the show with someone who needs to hear the message. Share the show with that teammate of yours that's been feeling a little bit burnt out lately, that guy, that girl that's, been a bit of a negative energy around the gym. Any of those people, a lot of the time, they just need a break. They just need to relax. They just need to chill. And if you're able to help them do that, you're going to see new life in your teammate, and in turn, new life in your team. And in turn, that's going to be better for everybody. So I appreciate you taking the time to tune in today. Thank you so much for that. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.